Hi, RL. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm amazing. I'm teaming with Hustle and Soul magazine. Definitely honored for your value time today.
Oh no, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. I definitely want to give you your flowers and want to get started, RL. You have such a successful career as a singer, songwriter. When you first got into the entertainment music industry, RL, what impact did you intend to make?
To be honest, I just wanted to make an honest living, doing what I'd always dreamed of doing, and I wanted to continue the legacy of my city's heritage. My mother grew up with Prince, like really grew up with him. My cousin is Philip
Wow.
Bailey from Earth, Wind, and Fire. So I really wanted to just represent, as they say, and I really didn't want to have to go to college because, I had a scholarship offer and, you know, back then it wasn't as attainable to become an artist. There weren't the resources we have now. So, Pops wasn't having it. He was all on education. So I graduated high school a half a year early. Like this will give me a little bit of time to pursue my dreams. And it worked out.
It definitely worked out for sure. Now, RL, when you're in the studio cooking up your masterpieces, what's some item that you have to have when you're in the studio to get in your zone?
Honestly, when I was younger and mannish, I don't know why, but I'd have like adult films playing on the TV just to,
Gotcha.
and I wouldn't even really necessarily be looking now. I just need peace. I need no stress. I just need to be in a mind frame where I can just um, really think back to things I absorbed from others. A lot of times you'll hear music from an artist and you'll think, oh, they were going through it. No, it could be the homie going through it. It could be somebody on TV I saw. It's some drama that I encountered. It doesn't necessarily have to be for me. It could be two, three, four times removed. So as long as I have peace of mind and, I have my little man cave where I can go and work, and even my daughter, like she knows, she'll still come down there sometimes. Like as soon as she gets out of school, she'll come run down the stairs and come give me a hug and a kiss and sit in my lap for a minute. But then she's like, all right, I'm out. I know daddy has to work. I just need to be in a space where I can have the freedom to not have to worry about anything but the task at hand.
That is beautiful. Peace. And you spoke about your daughter, you're a dad. It's Mental Health Awareness Month, RL. What are some self-care practices that you use to balance being a dad, being in the industry, and having your own self-care time?
Well, I've dealt with mental health and low self esteem issues since I was a young kid. I tried to commit suicide my senior year in high school. For me, what I realized is having the right people around you that will uplift you and pour into you. It's funny because I used to hate being alone, and I realized it's because I hated who I was alone with. And once I started to really truly love myself, I became a hermit. I rarely go anywhere. But I do think it's about your circle, even if it's one person. It's who you surround yourself with, your faith. Whether I'm a Christian. Well, I was raised Baptist. Um, whether you Hindu, whether you're Muslim, whatever it is, just belief in a higher power that things will get better as long as you continue to push forward.
That's right. Wow. Thank you for sharing that for sure.
Sure.
Definitely, especially during these times, gotta believe in something and keep
Right.
going. Absolutely. Now you've written for so many people, Usher, Luther Vandross, Jamie Foxx, Keith Sweat. I can go on and on. For you, is the process easier for you writing for yourself or writing for other people?
It really depends. Let me close these blinds for you.
No problem.
It really depends because I'm in my kitchen and it's funny because my daughter's gone and I'm able to. I usually have to do this in my man cave,
Got
but
you.
I can do this in the house because nobody's here. They're out of
I love
town.
it.
For me, I just like creating. There used to be a time when I would create records and I'd be like, this is mine, this is my baby. But it ended really fast because people don't know, like, just in case and anything for Jaheim were really for me. I wrote those records for me.
Wow.
And Jaheim was family. KG discovered us from Naughty by Nature and we were all a crew. And we all slept on the floor in KG's back house on air mattresses together. So when he hit me about the record and requested to have those two records, it was a no-brainer because we're family. So early on in my career, I realized that if you create a great record and you're a great creator, you can create another one. So I have faith in myself and how hard I work and the gifts that I've been blessed with to feel like I could do it all over again. I could do it better next time. So I don't mind giving records away. There are some times that I'd be like, man, the performance on this, I would have done this or something like that. But once you give something to somebody, it's theirs. So it's not about how you did it. I know that, I've been in the studio with writers that wanted me to sing the record like they sang it. And I'm thinking, if they wanted it like you did it, you'd be the one with the record deal. You know what I'm saying? Nothing against, the writers, but there used to be a time where wannabe artists or cats that hadn't made it yet as artists would try to make you do the record like they do it. I've learned that take the ego out of it. Once I give you this record, like when we did Lil Duval, we did the him and Ty Dolla $ign, the Pull Up record, we wrote and produced that. We're a different type of vocalists, but you find a way to bring the best out of somebody so it becomes theirs. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, and your pen game serious in your vocal game. Okay. Speaking of the best, let's talk about iconic song that you are a part of. Best Man soundtrack with Tyrese, Genuine, yourself, Case. What was it like being a part of producing, being a part of the song, making the video? It's such an iconic song, a part of an iconic film. What was it like being a part of that?
Well, that was pretty much my first taste of solo, kind of like, outside, not solo, but outside of the group. But there were so many other moving parts and layers to that because that was done by Jimmy and Terry, who were my idols. And I'm going to tell you something funny. They had an opportunity to sign us. We used to go to Flight Time and sneak out there because I'm from Minneapolis. So we would sneak out there and we sang for them. But they decided not to sign us. They signed a group called Solo instead of us. And it hurt us so bad. And I always had a chip on my shoulder and I felt like they didn't think I was good enough. So when I had the opportunity to go in the studio with the guys, number one, I'm nervous because I'm with these three powerhouse solo artists and I'm the guy from the group. I had just gotten off tour with the guys and I had to literally land and go straight to the studio because I lived there. They all flew in. I lived there in Minneapolis. So that's where we recorded. And if you really notice, I'm like talking in the beginning, I'm doing all these ad-libs at the end because I was making that stuff up, trying to impress Jimmy and Terry. So fast forward to 20 something years later, and I jumped in on an interview that big bro Jimmy Jam was having, and he took like 5 minutes to talk about me. And all these years I had this chip on my shoulder for no reason. He says, we did those guys a favor. So the interviewer was like, what do you mean? He's like, we were in a crazy situation with the label and we really wanted to sign them, but we knew they were too talented and we didn't want to mess their careers up with this messed up label situation we had. And we knew they'd get a better situation. And then he went on to talk about how I coached these powerhouse artists for the Best Man. He was like, I'm the glue. I was the guy that really was like, okay, do this. Okay, well, try it like this. And I didn't even know he noticed. But when I got in there with the guys, I had so much respect and love for them that it wasn't about me trying to show them up or show them like I belong. It was more about me just wanting to fit in and saying, you know what, you should sing this part. Do it like this. And I didn't know Jimmy noticed it, but he was like, yo, Art helped orchestrate that. And he gave me all these props and I literally was in tears. I had to sit down because all these years I've had this animosity and this chip on my shoulder because I felt like my idols didn't believe in me. But the truth is, them not signing me was a labor of love. So there were so many layers to that. Then being able to do the video with these guys. And, Tyrese, he's a movie star now. But when I talk to Genuine, he's like, love you, man. Case, we just saw each other in Chicago last weekend. But Genuine, I've written like 6 records for him on another project. He's always looked out, will hit me, check on me. So I've cultivated relationships just from that. And those are, pun intended, some of the best men that I know in the industry.
Yes. And the song was talking about uplifting, your fellow friends, and that's the bond that you made from
Yeah.
that creativity. It's so beautiful. What are some other memorable moments in your career for you that you're so proud of?
You know what? We were talking about that one day somewhere, and I tried to think of them, and I felt so alone on the road because my group members are real brothers, same mama, right? Um, and the world thinks that I look at myself as like the lead or whatever of the group, and I've never said that because I don't. I'm just one of the members, and I felt so alone because I was younger, a little younger than the guys. I wasn't as experienced, probably a little immature. Um, so my best memories aren't the awards and all the accolades because I've always been the type of guy that when all of the congratulations is going on, I'm in the studio somewhere trying to do some more. I just work. I can't help it. I just want to continue to work. That's the joy for me. But my best memories are doing for others. You know what I'm saying? Being able to surprise my sister with a brand new car. Like my parents hadn't even had like a brand new car off of the truck that had 0 miles on it. Surprising my
Amazing.
mom with a car. I remember my brother. We lived in the Bay Area when we were younger, and the curbs are super high. So we're riding our bikes, and he flipped and hit his face on the concrete. So his teeth were messed up all through high school. They started rotting and everything. And I was able to like drop like 20 and get his mouth fixed. Like those are the
Oh,
memories when you can help other people and do things for the ones you love. The accolades and all that, that's cool. An award will sit on my, on a shelf or on the wall somewhere. But I can see my brother smiling and I can take pride in that more than any award. So yeah.
wow. Wow, just giving back to others, especially through your songwriting, giving back to your family who supported you from day
Yeah.
one. That's beautiful for
Thank you.
sure. Before I get to what you're currently working on, I want to know your take on R&B today. What's missing?
What's missing? Well, I can't say there's anything missing besides how can I say this? A a way for artists like myself to get heard. Because people say, man, just post on it, do this, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. And to be honest, my core audience, not to, say all of them but a lot of them aren't going on social media for new music. They're not streaming like that. So we don't have a way to get our new music marketed and promoted to our audience. There's no record stores anymore and things like that. There's a lot of great art, even the new artists. There's talent. The difference is their audience streams. They're on YouTube, doing things like, listening to new music. So that's how they're heard and can be successful. For artists like myself, it's disheartening to know I can go do a sold out tour and everybody's in the audience on their feet the whole night, but they don't know about any new music I put out. You know what I'm saying? So it's like trying to find a way to get noticed and for people to hear that you have something new, because people will ask you all the time, when you dropping something, and I'd be thinking to myself, I dropped something a couple weeks ago. But now for me, you make a choice. You go, do I want to write this record for this new artist that maybe they can't deliver the record like I do, but it'll get heard. So you have to make those choices. And people will come by my house, executives, different people, and hear new records and be like, this is amazing. But and maybe my artist might not sound as good, but let us have this because the climate we're in, everything, evolves. I don't even want to say revolves, it evolves. So things will come back around eventually, and I'll continue plugging away, making music. But I think I do feel sorry for other artists in my position because I'm blessed to have publishing and a discography to where I can continue to make a living, but everybody don't have that, and then COVID hit and you're not touring and then you're trying to figure it out. And I'm not in nobody's pockets, but I know that times are hard for everybody. So I can only imagine for people that don't necessarily have those ASCAP checks coming every month.
That's true. That's knowledge from a legend like you. That's dope for sure. What can we be on the lookout for, and what are you looking forward to?
KG from Naughty by Nature discovered us. Naughty by Nature are big brothers. I think the final thing you'll hear from next, unless God has other plans, there'll be this Next by Nature project that we're putting together. It's a labor of love for me. Honestly, if KG hadn't reached out to me, I wouldn't have done it. But K is one of those people that is the reason I'm able to feed my family. So there's nothing I wouldn't do if he called me, legally. You know what I mean? Besides that,
Exciting.
me and a few friends of mine had, started messing around with some records like 7 years ago. And I happened to be on Instagram and he came in my live and we were playing some of the old records and some label heads came in the room and heard us playing these records and reached out and put the batteries back in our back. And we're working on an EP right now. It's called Give It Up for Love. It's WQRL, which is Wingo from Jagged Edge, Q Parker from 112, and myself. So we have an EP that we're readying right now, and we're excited about it. We're mixing everything and putting the final touches, but the records are done. And then we decided we'll continue to record because we realize that it's a great touring mechanism because not only do we feel like we have great new music, but you basically get 3 groups for the price of 1. You get the hits. So, it's a good business decision as well. And we're all friends, what I'm saying? We know each other's families. It's, especially Wingo. He's like I'm so proud of him because people don't realize how talented he is. The twins are super dope. So they're going to overshadow pretty much anybody. But for him to get the opportunity and the world not know how talented he is, I think the most exciting aspect of WQRL is people going, oh, I didn't know he go like that. Like, I'm like a proud brother to watch him. And I think it's gonna be really amazing. I really love it. Like, cause we're not trying to be young because we don't feel like we're old. We just feel like we're a little seasoned.
I know that's right. And that's gonna be so epic. I know I'm so here for it. For sure, RL. You're welcome. And I would end with during these unprecedented times that we're in, though things are starting to get back on the right track, there's people who aspire to be a singer, songwriter, get their name out there, but they may not have the resources or the connections, no one, checking for them, scouting for them, and they may feel discouraged. What words of encouragement to empower them would you say?
Well, let me say this. I'm 24 years in the game, man.
Amazing.
And I get discouraged, with the climate of how music is and where we are right now. I honestly feel like it's easier for newer artists to be heard than seasoned veterans sometimes. So my words are, use that discouragement as fuel. That's what I do. Don't doubt yourself. You can become discouraged, but that other D, you don't need that. Don't doubt your gift. You can become discouraged, but use that. That discouragement is something that you can prove other people wrong. Sometimes you have to prove yourself wrong. And also remember, there's always somebody somewhere that sees you. I don't care where you are. It can happen. It ain't just the tour bus or sneaking backstage. You could be anywhere. It could be karaoke night. You never know. And you have to remember that. Treat people right. And it's not what people say when you're in the room. It's what they say about you when you're not in the room. So if you treat people right and people know you're dope, then you're good.
You're good. Thank you so much, Black King RL. I salute you. I commend you. I honor you. And keep doing that pen gang, seriously. You got this.
Tammy, I just want to honestly tell you, when my family hit me about doing this interview, it's funny because I had decided that I didn't really want to talk a lot anymore because I didn't feel like I had much to say. I don't want to just dote on, my past accolades. I'm proud of them and I know it's a blessing, but I'm so glad that I did this interview today because it's people like you that allow me to be heard. Using your platform and having me on here, it's a blessing for me. And I'm truly humble. And when WQRL comes out, you got to have the guys back on with me and we'll do this again. So I promise you, I give you my word.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you so much. Have a great rest of your day.
All right, you too. Thank you.
Talk soon. Bye-bye.